I really feel like, I kind of came into the world as an entrepreneur. When I was 29, I had a bone marrow. I'm beautiful. We're regenerating tissue. When I was your age, no one would have talked about this, and you would be a complete witch on a broom. Do the work on you, elevate you.
The number one motivational speaker under 40 in the world. We've got 1 billion views.
Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm with a very special guest. Now, I don't often have superstar females on my show, but this is somebody who I was so excited to bring on. She is known as one of the leading new thought leaders right now. She is a 9-figure entrepreneur. You may know her from Fascia Blaster. This is the founder. She founded Fascia Blaster, which has been used by and posted about all over Instagram from Shakira, Lady Gaga, the Kardashians. She works with the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio, the boys from the Yankees, pro athletes, Margot Robbie, Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, oh my God, this queen has done it all. She built this business from scratch to where she is now. I think she's selling for $1 billion right now. I mean, this is the woman you want to learn from if you want to understand entrepreneurship. And let me just add a few bits in there about her. She's also a national best-selling author, and this book is so incredible. I know personally how much it's helped me when I read it on my own journey. It's something that can help you evolve and get empowered in the industry you're in to become a leading entrepreneur. Ashley Black is one of the world's leading female entrepreneurs. That is something. And she is Entrepreneur of the Year, by the American Business Association 2020. That's like right now in health and beauty. That is so incredible. I am so excited to have this absolute queen here with us today. Welcome, Ashley Black.
Oh my gosh, Natasha, I love you, and I love to panel with you on Clubhouse. I love everything about your message, and I could not be more honored to be on this podcast, girl. Woo! We are going to set some ripples loose in the universe today.
Okay, I am so excited. I am so buzzed about this. I mean, look, you are somebody that's inspiring everywhere you go. You come on my Clubhouse stage, people are like, who is she? Oh my God, I want to know more. And then people who know you are like coming up and doing testimonials about you. They're like, Ashley is everything. Ash, where did this journey start for you? I want to go
Lord,
back.
girl. How much time do we have? No, I really feel like, I kind of came into the world as an entrepreneur. I was a little girl in Alabama with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis who was instantly, at 3 years old, told you're going to be in a wheelchair by the time you're 18, with this juvenile rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis. And, this was a long time ago. I'm almost 50. So we're talking about the 70s. No one was, gluten-free or on their holistic journey. It was all, let's go to the doctor, So I think part of that like fight and that spirit goes all the way back to that birth, because I remember being 5 and 6 years old and going, I'm not going to let someone else determine what I'm going to do. I was a little girl in gymnastics and I wanted to go to the Olympics, and I didn't have time to have juvenile rheumatoid arthritis or to deal with those doctors and their bullshit. So, so I feel like a lot of the fight and the going against the system and a lot of those things that have really laid the groundwork for way later success come from childhood.
Gosh, I didn't know your story and what you've been through. I mean, that is... So did you cure yourself of the rheumatoid arthritis?
Here's the thing, now I'm in the whole world of holistic care, and my God, these are letters people send me with all of, their health conditions. So I would have to say that I don't even believe that juvenile rheumatoid arthritis is a real diagnosis. What I really believe is that all of the, chemicals and basically modern life has just changed the whole paradigm of the human body. And if we can get completely clean, you know, and we can talk about this later, but, you know, live where our literal cells are vibrating at a higher frequency, you know, I just don't believe disease can live there, whether that is, so I had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. And then when I was 29, I had a bone marrow infection that got in my spinal fluid and almost killed me. And every time I've been able to come out triumphant, and we'll say cured, because I just keep getting cleaner and cleaner and moving more towards what I believe this, you know, let's just say quantum physics, the universe has for us. I think that we all have this ability to heal, and we don't know how. We don't feel empowered. Maybe we don't have the tools. Maybe we don't believe it. Maybe somebody's in our ear being like, don't be stupid, you know. So my whole life has been about overcoming, you know, pretty severe physical disabilities. So you know, anyone out there that is listening, and if you have a personal story, we literally, me and my staff, read every single person's story, and we try to, you know, give you as much coaching as we can to get you to the resources, because I think so many people just need to say, I believe in you and I did it, you know.
Gosh, that's amazing. I mean, look, it relates to my own story because I went through a healing journey when I had the pain in my life, when I was suffering with an illness that I was bedbound with. I didn't believe there was a way out. I was told there was no way out. So to have cured myself of that, I just resonate with your story so much, because it is possible to get out of that situation. It is possible when you know how to heal yourself and to improve your life and to change your destiny. But at the time, it can feel very
100%.
overwhelming. And, you know, I was depressed with it as well. You know, it can be a downward spiral. But where you've come to now, you didn't just come back and heal, Ash. You came back and took over the fucking world. Like, you've really overachieved in this world. That's something to be proud of.
Well,
Where did
I humbly accept that compliment. You know, and I just want to make sure that with the accolades and the influence that I've been given, that, you know, I feel like the universe and God has entrusted me with that. And I actually take that position really seriously. So my whole business was based around this whole idea of healing yourself and having all the tools that you needed. So I think that part of why my business was so successful, kind of like right out of the gate, was because it's just authentic. You know, it's 100% what I believe about the body. It's 100% what's now been proven about the body. And, you know, when you're working in the celebrity realm, which, by the way, is very, very fun. I've made such amazing friends, and, you know, got to fly on private planes to movie sets and all the whole 9 yards. And I also loved when I would, you know, walk in the Yankees, you know, hotel, and they would be like, thank God you're here. You know, that's wonderful for the ego. But what always bothered me was I felt like, because of that near-death experience, that I was given almost like secrets, you know. I felt like a secret holder. And I didn't just want, you know, the rich and fabulous to have the technology. I wanted to put it in the hands of, you know, everyone. And people like you, Natasha. I wish I would have known you when you were suffering it. We actually use my tools a lot for emotional issues, emotional trauma store in our tissues physically. You know, so I feel like what I'm doing with my products and my business is really just a natural extension of, you know, this mission that all of us are on. You're on for sure, you know, with the high vibrational living.
It's high vibrational living. Okay, before I dive into Fascia Blaster, if you had to give our audience some takeaways right now, because you are the best at this and you've just started it, explaining it now in this podcast, if you had to give 5 takeaways or 3 to 5 takeaways on how someone can raise their vibration to live healthier, to raise their consciousness, which is your mission, by the way. Your mission is to help people raise their consciousness and to live their highest, fulfillest, their best lives. So what would your tips be to raise the vibration in the way that you have and thousands of others have through you?
I mean, it's probably the exact same thing that you would say. So I would say, and this isn't something that I promote or that I've written about, this is like off the cuff. But the first thing is, what do we put in our bodies? You know, we literally have high vibrational foods. It's something that you can Google, you know, And so I think it is super, super important that we're eating living food that actually contributes to that. Because, I look sometimes at motivational speakers and they're flying all over the world and they're fantastic, and then I see them chomping, down a steak real quick or whatever. And I'm just like, wow, that's not good. That is not what human beings are, meant to do with their food system. So I would say that the food, the drink, all of it, obviously cutting out a lot of the BS. I'm the first one. I love my wine. I'm not saying forever. I'm just saying be aware if you're putting things that actually can suck and drain your energy into your body. So that would be number one. Then the second thing is kind of your bag, Natasha. It is your thoughts. Every single thought, every single word, every single action. If you could, if that's all we could do is manage that, everyone would be at this level 100%, because it is managing those thought processes so that your actions are always in the high vibrational realm. Like when I'm around what I call normies, normal people, I have to really put on the compassion hat and remember how a lot of people function in their day-to-day life. And I know that there are people trying and they're like looking in the mirror and they're going, I'm beautiful. And then, they're crying themselves to sleep. So, I love your whole idea about, be it till you become it, because you really can control your thoughts. No one can control your thoughts but you. So food, thoughts, which I'm going to wrap in a third column, the emotions that go with that, and managing the emotions. Because if we're constantly living in a state of high and low and high and low, that's ego, and that will never last. That's always going to be crashed wide open. So letting the thoughts manage those emotions and keeping yourself peaceful. That is my number one priority in life, is to maintain peace. I don't let anybody shake me off of it. And even my highest of highs are like this, I don't throw a party and freak out when I get named Entrepreneur of the Year. I open the email and I'm like, wow, somebody acknowledged me. That's fantastic. Awesome. And I'm on to the next thing. So I think managing the emotions, highs and lows. And then I would throw in that fourth column, the fascia system, which is what my fascia blaster tools address. That is the electrical system of the body. Like if you go to Asia and say fascia, meridians, ki, everyone knows what that is. It's just Westerners that are slow to get started. And so it is important. My tools restore the tissue. And so in my mind, what that translates to is restoring the channels for energy to flow. So when we talk about having blockages, they can be stagnant with our thoughts, but they also can be physical. So I would definitely throw in the fascia. Okay. So following me here, food, thoughts, emotions, your fascia, and then your environment. And this is one of those things where, people are like, well, this is all I can afford, or, these people have been my friends for so long, or whatever. But what is in your immediate environment is constantly going to bombard your vibration. So I would say, if you had a finite amount of money, get yourself a really small apartment and decorate it beautiful and fabulous. Get you a neon sign that says, hello, gorgeous. And you need to feel good in your space, and you need to feel good with the people you're around, and you need to feel good with the sounds that you're around. So I know for me, this was probably the last step for me, Natasha. If you look behind me, I live on 100 acres of jungle, and just out this window.
When I FaceTime you, I see your multiple properties around the world. They're beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, you're good to see that. But I really believe if you can do all of that, you're going to be so high vibrational that you're not going to need entrepreneurship advice or how to grow your Instagram, or, how to be authentic, because you just are. And once you are, you radiate that. And you also repel people who aren't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't ever feel like I have to do a week out or cleansing, because those kind of people aren't attracted to me yet, So that's the magic formula right there. Case closed.
I love it. Well, guys, I hope you're writing notes, because I can tell you I've already written 2 during this, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to get distracted, but this is so powerful. I'm loving it, Ash. Okay, so we've talked about your purpose and what you're doing. Where did Fascia Blaster come from? Because Fascia Blaster has changed the lives of millions. You guys have handedly upped the game of the health and wellness industry, health and beauty industry. You are everywhere. You've been in every magazine, every TV show because of the lives you're changing. But here's the amazing thing. You figured out how to regenerate tissue. Can we just talk about that for a second?
Have a moment for that. I feel like I would just want to go,
How to regenerate tissue, Ashley Black. Wow.
So, Natasha, I've been, looking for a strategic partner for really the last 6 months, but I've been taking meetings and people will be like, so tell me about your EBITDA in, 2017. I'm like, we're regenerating tissue. Like, did you not hear that part? Can we talk about that part again? No, it's huge. It's what every single scientist has wanted to do, from, sports medicine doctors who are doing platelet-rich plasma injections. Why are they doing that? To speed up the healing process, to regenerate the tissue of the injury. All of these radio frequencies that are targeting cellulite, what are they doing? They're trying to regenerate the fascia tissue. What are we doing with all of this manifestation? It's all part of releasing blockages in, guess what? The tissue, the soft tissues. That's where it happens. And I'm going to show you this because it's so, for me, this is like, it's black and white. Shut up. We don't need to talk about it anymore. So if you just look at this before and after, this is an actual ultrasound of the fascia tissue. That's all the white. And if you look, it's kind of like thick and jumbled in the before picture. And then it's like completely remodeled and smoothed out.
And this is so using the Fascia Blaster.
Using the Fascia Blaster for 90 days. So people who don't know what it is, they think it's some like amazing machine or like injections or something like that. It's literally this. It's this simple. This is what we all missed. Everybody's like rolling and massaging and doing all of this. It is literally the mechanism that they don't vibrate, they don't light up, they don't do anything special, but scrubbing the crap out of your tissue. And we even have crazy stuff like this. With your little tiny body, Natasha, you could do your whole body in like 5 minutes, and then we have ones for the face.
How do you do
a scrubbing motion? It's so simple. In all of our videos, we're like, step 1, use oil and bare skin. So we even formulated some amazing oils. We don't need to go into it, but they roll on, so you can roll it right onto your body, and then you scrub fast and light like this. And that's literally it. You're done. And so there's an immediate effect, which is a huge flushing of blood to the surface. You can see it when you can go on Instagram, all the sports doctors are doing it, but like,
oh my God. And you have the best reviews. Like, your Instagram is booming. You've got Instagram testimonials, people testimonials, celebrity testimonials of how this, I'm excited now to start using mine and really get into it. And I'm actually going to then like let everyone know in 90 days how incredible that was. So how does it work when you're doing it? What happens?
So think of it like this, going back to the ultrasound, I just think it gives a good visual. This is the side of the eye, right? So we have like layers, like a cake, right? And the fascia it's kind of like this. It's like you have the fibers and they're all surrounded, like picture a group of straws, right? Like if I was holding straws, and they all have fascia wound and going through them. So when we talk about our muscles, we can't separate out the fascia. The fascia is everywhere in those muscles, and it's like hair. So I always just describe it. This is like a hairbrush for your hair. Like, so if your hair was matted up and, had a bunch of tangles in it and a little dread starting over here, and it was all crazy, nothing is wrong with your hair, right? You just need to brush it. And it's the same thing with fascia. When people are like, oh, I've got a pinched nerve, or, oh, my hands go numb, or, oh, I can't bend my knee all the way, or I have cellulite, or I have a stretch mark, or I have whatever. That is just a knot or a dreadlock in your body. And you just have to comb it out. And that's what the Fascia Blaster does. Imagine a hairbrush. You wouldn't roll something down your hair. That wouldn't work, right? You couldn't get a laser. That wouldn't work, and so I think sometimes people are like, oh, it's so simple. yes. And so is a hairbrush, you know.
Just wanted to jump in here quickly and say I am so excited to announce that my new book, Be It Until You Become It, is out in August, and you can get your hands on a pre-order copy right now. It will be delivered to you when the book is released, but right now you can pre-order that book. And I just want to give you something as well as getting the book. As a gift from me to you, I am giving away a bonus Be It Until You Become It program with video content worth $500 right here as a gift for you for free for downloading and buying that new book today. When you get a copy of that book, just make sure you go back and put the receipt into the beituntilyoubecomeitbook.com website, where you'll be able to receive your free gift. And there is so much more epic content coming up for you until the book is released. Be It Till You Become It, as you can hear in the title, is about becoming the version of you that you want to become before you become them. It's about the neuroscience behind the law of attraction, the ancient wisdom behind the law of attraction, and everything that goes into you becoming that best version of you. It's my 12-step manual, the guide that I have done to become a best-selling author, from being broke and homeless to living in my dream homes. I was a single mom only 3 years ago. This is the bulletproof method that I have used to get to where I am now. You see, life is a movie. You get to choose your character and write your script. So who do you want to be? I hope you enjoy the book as much as I enjoyed writing it. The link is below. And so
you brush it out.
And then what? So now you flushed it out. Then what happens? How do you feel now?
This is the cool part, because we didn't know, you know, we kind of thought it, since it's like a hairbrush, that when you're running it over the body, that it would go to where the hairbrush could reach, right? Or the fascia blaster could reach. But what we found is that it restores the tissue all the way to the bone. So me and nobody in the world actually knows what the mechanism for regeneration is. But when you're restoring that system of the body, I believe it's because it's a communication system, right? And it's telling him, oh, like, we're getting good, you need to get good. You get good, and then I'll get good. And I think it's the body's, it just stimulates the body's natural healing process. And people think it's snake oil because it affects so many things, everything from hair growth, you know, to stretch marks, to wrinkles and all that. But you're talking about the system of the body that feeds the rest of the body. It feeds the cells, it feeds the skin. So of course, if you make that good, then, you know, you're going to have all of these incredible effects.
So scientifically, the fascia blaster regenerates new tissue.
Game, set, mat, it absolutely does, from the skin down to the bone. It's visible at the surface. I'll just show you like one or two pictures just for your viewers.
No, but this company is selling for nearly $1 billion, babe, or $1 billion at this rate. I mean, I think you know, I don't know how deep we can go into it, but I'm pretty sure it's, from what I've heard, it's going to be the big B that you're going to sell it for, and you deserve it.
I think they take multiple cells, but, you know, I think it's not a secret if you say, oh, if somebody invents the cure for cellulite, they could very easily be a billionaire. And that's just one, you know, vertical. You know, we're not at the point where we can say cure yet. Cure is like you do something and then it's over with, where this is a lifestyle. But, you know, I think, yeah, I think the people that we're talking to really see the value. You know, there was a cellulite alone company that got acquisitioned for 550 million, and, you know, they don't have millions of customers and all of this. So yeah, I mean, I'm just tapping my toe into the, you know, into the world of this. But yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Like, this is not diet and exercise, you know. And this is a woman in her 60s.
For like less than 3 months even.
I mean, look at this. I'm going to try to blow it up. I'm pulling these right off of my Facebook page.
Oh my God, this is incredible.
Yeah. So I love the beauty side. We all do. Natasha, you and I got on the podcast and we were like, oh, your hair, you're this, like, that's what girls do. We love it. It's fun. That's what we do. We get together and we have fun and we talk about all of our beauty products. But, you know, scientifically, for me, I don't forget that I came from that world of professional sports. I also owned sports medicine clinics where people had, you know, they were hopeless. And I really resonate with the hopeless as well. And when you can regenerate tissue, the sky is the limit for total healing, particularly if you incorporate all of those other aspects. So I feel like this is one little piece of the pie, but it's a very important piece. I mean, me personally, I have built a whole spa out here in my jungle to have a giant sauna, because I like to get into the sauna, get as hot as I can, and just blast my whole body. And it really, I mean, it's amazing the quality of life that I have, considering that I had to have 23 surgeries on my hip, including a full replacement, reconstruction, rods, pins, the whole 9 yards. And that was over 20 years ago. And I still feel great. I go surf, so it's kind of like, if anybody questions it, it's like the proof is in the pudding right here.
Absolutely.
No one even knows that I have these disabilities.
And now are they gone for you?
I mean, I feel like I've never had an ultrasound done on my hip. People always ask me, like, when was the last time you got it checked? I was like, 20 years ago when I had it done. But at the end of the day, I would love to be ultrasound, because I guarantee you, I don't have those giant clumps of scar tissue that are they're so huge. And everybody thinks about scar tissue as where you've been operated on, but we can have little micro scar tissues throughout our whole body. And I believe that's a lot of the full body pain complexes. I think that's when people hurt all over. I think it's when they have, headaches and they just feel heavy and like they can't. I feel like all of that is related to the fascia. So, one of the big purposes in me wanting to take on a big strategic partner with a big fat paycheck is because I want to go do all this research. I funded all of the research from the very beginning out of my own checkbook. There's the National Institute of Health is not lining up to give me grants. It just doesn't work that way, so you just have to, if you really believe in something, you got to be your own soldier, and I'm just lucky. My customers are my best army, and they are right there with me with their hashtag I stand with Ashley, and they're feeling empowered to be a part of that movement as well. So It's all good, girl.
You are raising people up as well. You're helping entrepreneurs to go from 7 to 8 figures, from 8 to 9 figures. And now even yourself, 9 to 10, like this is insane. So this is what I want to know. If you were to give your young entrepreneurial self a little whisper in the ear, because I always say, what would you say to your younger self? But the real thing is, what would you whisper in the ear? Like we say to children, we're both mommies, right? So what would we say to our kids, as they are growing up? What's that little thing you would say to them in their ear?
Oh my gosh. I think of any time that I've ever screwed up, it was just because I did not trust the inner voice. So I would go back to little baby Ashley, little gymnast Ashley. In fact, I do this type of work. I love to work with family constellations and work with my inner child and my teenage child. And it's really powerful work when you do that. And if I had to go back and whisper to like high school Ashley, I would say, listen to the inner voice. You're not crazy, you're right. Gas pedal,
Wow, that is so amazing. Okay, if an entrepreneur is listening right now, she's a female, she's in corporate America, she wants to get out, what's your advice? She feels stuck.
Well, I'm glad that we touched a little bit on the book, because it's just a passion project. I mean, everybody knows there's no money in books. You have to really want to have a message get out to write a book. It's a horrible process. Trust me, I've written 3 now. It pains. Are you writing a book?
No, I'm already a best-selling author, but I'm on my next, and it takes a lot, because it's literally for, you gain nothing from it, I guess, unless I have done quite big numbers of some of them, but it really is for the world, and it's a process. It takes so much out of you. Your bandwidth is so limited when you're writing. You have no time for anything.
So draining, but I do love it, and I do love this subject matter, and I do have 2 co-authors. One, her name is Corey Minkus, and she comes from the world of she does those massive stage shows all over the world for business training. So she has more of a method. I'm kind of more of an inspiration, right? And she's more of here's the system. And then we also brought in a award-winning TV producer, Lisa Bracken, who has she's been around since the inception of infomercials, and she's seen all kinds of launches. So the 3 of us got together. And what was awesome is we decided collectively that women don't have business problems. Women have personal problems. that seep into their business. So we decided kind of like self-development, party in the front, business suit in the back. And so the book is kind of half and half. And the first part is, and you know this, Natasha, we could talk about it all night. You have to have, so particularly as a woman or any type of minority, right? You have to have so much resolve, and you have to be doing it for something bigger than just money, or you're never going to get there. And you also have to be at peace. You also have to have balance in your life, because we're meant to enjoy the process of building our business, not be pummeled by it, and not hang, success and failure in your ego, and how you feel in your emotions cannot be tied to that. So we do a lot of work in the book at like, what is your beautiful life? What is your tap out number, right? And so it's self-development in the front, and then in the back, we're like, okay, you got your idea, whether you're a service, you're a product, whatever you are, we're going to make you a product, and we're going to show you like the grimy stuff that you don't know about business. Because I'm sure you've been there, Natasha, like, how many times have you, somebody promises you the world, and then you sign a contract with them and you're like, wow, you suck, and you didn't even, like, for me, when I'm hiring, say, somebody to do my global Amazon, I've never done global Amazon. I don't know if they're good, but what we give in the book is what you need to look for. So hopefully we have taken, combined business experience of like a century almost, and put it into a book so that these women don't have to step on their landmines, and that they can keep that peace, and they can, turn on their camera and not worry about, hating, or, to just be solid, grounded women who can move into this next phase. And we started a big private Facebook group with, I think we have about 7,000 members now, all real, true, organic. They stumbled in there, and many of them never even thought about being an entrepreneur. But once they got this piece right with the self-development, they're like, hell yeah, hell yeah, I want to start a business. And girl, I am not anti-men. I love men. I have the hottest Spanish stallion somewhere walking around this house. I have, 3 sons.
You guys are such a fucking power couple. The world loves you guys. We love it. Me and Michael are like, the 4 of us are just, I can't wait.
Oh, it's going to be over the top. It's going to be extra in every way, and so fantastic. But, I really do believe that. And that goes back to what I was saying about like your environment. And, if you are at a resonance place to attract that right partner, or to, continue with that right partner, that's an exponential living for you. I feel freer than ever. I feel more beautiful than ever. I feel more successful, feel more empowered. And it's almost like double when I'm with Jordy, my soulmate.
It's so beautiful. When you guys are together, do you feel like your energy and everything you're doing is magnified? Like, if you were to talk about
double?
Yeah.
Double. Absolutely doubled. I feel on fire, when I'm with him. And it really is even just a touch thing. If he just comes in the room, I can just touch, and it's like I'm plugged into that, that high vibrational energy, and it's just amplified. And I believe that can happen with your girlfriends too. Natasha, even when we get on any type of call, we're both just like, wow, but I think that has to be, it's authentic. It doesn't happen. There's not a real vibration if somebody's like playing a character, so I don't think you can have your character as your, red carpet person, and you can't have it in your friend base. And I really don't think that you can have it in your business. But if you truly are surrounding yourselves with high vibrational people, you're going to be in the next stratosphere. You're just going to dematerialize like Yoda at some point.
I love it, Faye, but I relate to you, because since meeting Michael and, being in my relationship here, it's so powerful, because everything that we do is magnified and multiplied, and the energy is profound. As soon as we connect, as soon as we do anything, as soon as we meet people and we do talks around the world, the energy is prolific. It's incredible. It's profound. It's making movements. And so I know that, when you speak about Jordy and the way that you guys, and he's really making moves in the world too, which is beautiful. But this is the interesting thing. 2 powerhouses will always find each other, because I could not be with somebody who wasn't on their game and doing their thing on a high level.
Yeah.
Of course, we've got a guy that did a world record of traveling 193 UN nations.
Yeah, of course.
Top 5 PR in the world. Like, I would only ever be able to resonate on that level in my highest element if I had somebody by my side who was also like that. And that's why
someone who is helping amplify you, because I'm going to say a real serious message to our ladies and our men and I identify with a neutral gender. I don't care. I'm talking about the person that you spend the most time with. That person, if you want to raise your vibration and go to that next level in life, I'm not even talking about money. That may not even be a part of it. You cannot have that person around your neck sucking the life out of you. I'm not suggesting everybody needs to go get a divorce. What I'm suggesting is don't sweep that under the rug and address it in your own life. And let's just say that maybe you are with someone who has mental illness or a physical sickness and they just can't contribute. Then you have to have other people that surround you so much that they amplify you, so that when you're in that caregiving type role that you can handle that. And I think so many, like, I cannot tell you how many amazing people I've met, and then I go to meet their spouse and I'm like, what is happening there? And nobody wants to talk about it. It's like this taboo thing, but it's so true that you're just amplified when you surround your people like that. And when you're talking about somebody that you sleep next to them, you're sharing that energy, the sexual energy, which is some of the most powerful in the universe, and that business energy, man, if you can get that to sync up, woo, watch out, power couples.
And you know what? It's so true, because times in my life when I felt down have been because of who I was surrounding myself with. And this is after I went through the illness, the depression, the brokenness, being broke, being homeless. After I've been through all of that and rediscovered myself, I then found myself drawing in people who were energy vampires and want to suction that energy from me. And I realized, okay, so this person's not serving me. My golden rule in life: if somebody does not leave you feeling elevated and you do not leave them feeling elevated, do not have them in your life. Keep them afar, love them from a distance, whatever you need to do. I don't
level, but not in your ecosphere.
No, yep. Absolutely. You've got, listen, how we live. Will Smith says, define your light with your life. Defend your light with your life. Absolutely. You are a beaming light force. And if you are allowing people to suction that from you, you're doing a disservice not only to yourself,
but the world. Yes. Preach. I mean, I believe that wholeheartedly. I live that, and I look at, my journey hasn't been perfect all the way. I've had some of the craziest things. I could go, being debilitated, being filing chapter 7, having an ex form a hate group and come attack me. Like, I've had it all. So I don't want to, partners tripping out, whatever. I've had all of that. But I think it's the quickness to recognize. And, I have this saying I love, I don't even know where it came from. I'm sure it's stolen, but first lost is least lost. So when someone shows you who they are, it's got to cut right then. It's when we don't listen to that intuition and we're kind of like, and then we go and analyze it and we say, oh, it could be this, it could be that. No. We know it's that knee jerk. If someone's like, if you in your mind go, damn, they're toxic. And then you're like, but they really, no, but damn, they're toxic. Right. And the same thing on the other side. And I love this whole idea is like, sometimes we feel things instantly that it's like, yes. And then we talk ourselves out of that. So I think if you can learn to manage that, my goodness, it's just exponential what you can do in your personal relationships as mommies, as friends, as daughters, as businesswomen. It's really all the same thing. It's just keeping yourself elevated all the time. And I'll pose this to you, Natasha. Do you live elevated all the time, 24 hours a day? Because I do. And I think people think that that's crazy, but I do.
It's not. It's about your mindset. 80% is in the mind, 20% is in the action. I live in that elevated state. Ash, I love it. When you and I talk, we're bounding off each other. Springboard, boom, boom, boom. and we just go with ideas. People who are uber successful, like yourself, I like to call myself in this box, people who are leaders.
Yes, girl.
They
Call it out.
ideas. People who are not living their best lives and find themselves constantly in problems, constantly in scarcity and all of this shit going on. They talk about friends, people. And the people in the middle who are on the way up talk about goals. Where do you want to be? Here, here, or here? And I shifted my mind. I don't talk about people. I'm not bothered to talk about that.
You know, I just love you. I'm a fan. I'm a Natasha Graziano fan. I'll say it right here, right now. You can have that for your sizzle reel. I am a Natasha fan because what you are speaking is the absolute, it's true. There's not many things that are true in this reality perception. You know, what reality are we living in? But what you just said is absolute truth. And we truly get to choose. And the only difference between the ones who do and the ones who don't are the ones that can't get past themselves to choose it. And it's all about doing the work. We even talked about this, both of us, with our attracting our soulmates. You know, you don't go out and find them. You don't necessarily need like a love coach, or you don't need to try to do that. Do the work on you, elevate you, meditate, manifest, spend time with the people that continue to elevate you, and do the work. Go back into the childhood, find out where the limiting beliefs are, do the fascia blasting, do the sound journeys, do the energy machine, do the weird counselor, do the Tai Chi, do whatever it takes to remember who you really are. And staying elevated will be the easiest thing that you have to do. And attracting everything you want will be the easiest thing you do. People don't want, it's like, how many times have you heard this, Natasha? Meditation doesn't pay the rent. Bye. I don't even know what to say with that anymore. I'm like, it does. It absolutely does.
Absolutely. Well, my whole method, my MBS method, is based on meditational style practice with breathing integration and neuroscience in altered states of awareness. So I know.
Woo! I got a little chill in my body. I mean, I think it's incredible. And I also think it's incredible. Like, you know, when I was your age, no one would have talked about this and you would be a complete witch on a broom. But now people are getting it and they're accepting it and they're jumping in and it's resonating with them. And you're doing this to help women and men in business. Like, how incredible is that? I really feel if we could raise the level of income to where people can be like, I'm good, that is going to cause a huge shift in consciousness. That's why I'm so about helping entrepreneurs. You know, I don't have all this extra time to go help entrepreneurs. It's not part of anything other than what I think the world needs to see, because when we're not buried in bills and bullshit, we have all the time in the world to go and change the world and to have conversations like this and inspire other people and physically do it. I know for me, one of my biggest things is the environment. And I know that's a huge brushstroke, but like, I'm physically out there cleaning up the beach. I'm physically talking to, you know, people who come from extreme poverty and don't know that it's not okay to like throw your refrigerator into the river, you know? And so it's good to, from a place of high vibration and compassion and love, to see that, because a lot of times it's not their fault. You know what I mean? When I say it's not their fault, like there's just no awareness. And so I really think I'm going to spend, I always think of it like my first 50 years and my second. I know I shouldn't cap my life at 100 years, but it's really all about what do I want to do with that second half. And I feel like if I did all this, you know, in the first half, like, good Lord, watch out for the next 50 years. We're going to go get all this plastic out of the ocean. You know, we're going to get people more mindful about their waste. We're going to get people back connected with plants. Do you know how I have such amazing relationships with my plants? I know that sounds so silly, but these are the things around you, right?
Absolutely. I talk to my plants. My mom always taught me that we're big in the environment in your family, and we just connect with nature. My homes are surrounded with plants, and you know, being in the ocean, at least for, you know, one of them is very, it's crucial. Being in nature. What do you do with your plants? That's amazing. Do you talk to them?
So right now my thing, so first of all, I'm all about growing herbs, medicinal herbs. I wish you could see it. It's just like a little around the corner there, things to make teas with and whatnot. But in terms of, I love flowers. And did you know that orchids grow on trees? That's why the roots look the way that they do. So we're basically killing all of our orchids by trying to water them from the top because they need to root into a tree and get the water system through the roots. So when I learned this whole like pantyhose trick and attaching them to the trees because I'm surrounded by palm trees, I started to basically incubate all these gorgeous orchids and then plant them on the trees. And that's what I'm into. And I'm just like you. I feel beautiful. I feel like I'm talking with something beautiful. I feel like I'm growing something beautiful. Every time I look at them, I enjoy it. And these are the kind of things that I think sometimes we miss because we're too busy, getting our hair done and our Louboutins on and running out the door. But when we start talking about this whole high vibrational life, I don't think that you can section out being connected with nature. It's just too much a part of the human species. And the more I connect with nature, and I'm in that ocean surfing, I'm like walk around barefoot. I've got my temple outside. Like I'm all in for this life. But the more connected I am with nature, the more satisfaction I get out of life. And I had a great life,
Absolutely. But this is it. You are a conscious entrepreneur. And not everybody is there yet. You're already enlightened. That's why you inspire hundreds of thousands of people. And now you're taking over the world because you are able to light the candle of another person. And those people who you teach to be conscious entrepreneurs and leaders are then able to go out there and light somebody else's candle. I am so excited.
And that is success. That's success.
Yes.
Lighting a candle, and then they light a candle and they light a candle. If anyone ever wants to know, how did you build a 9-figure business with no investment dollars on your own, still 100% owner, what you just said, that is how I did it. So if you can be the light, that's the first step. And that's what some people miss. You got to be the light before you can light that candle. And if you do that, the sky's the limit, baby.
That was the best finale. I am so buzzed by you. You're incredible. Ashley Black, thank you so much for coming. You're an absolute queen. I've enjoyed every single moment with you. Entrepreneur of the Year, American Business Association 2020 Health and Beauty, Ashley Black. Thank you so much.
Namaste, darling. It's my favorite hour of the whole day today.